Hello, so this is a very short video, but basically I'm going to be just doing like maybe a 5 minute video on how I study for a test. I have a test next week that I've been studying for, marine science, so I have been trying to get my encoding techniques right. There are lots of videos online on how to get your encoding techniques right, but basically the encoding technique which I use is chunking. You can use mnemonics and you can use association with maybe a musical rhythm as well, which will also effectively help you to remember information much better. Um, and not just that's remembering the information after you've read it, and not just remembering it, but also understanding it. So you may want to process the information for quite a bit after you have read through maybe the pre-lecture slides and then going through the actual lecture itself, like actually going into class and then post lecture actually reading the content. It's like when you read a poem the first time and then actually someone explains what's going on in the poem to you, and then afterwards you're like, I've made some realization about this poem. um, but yeah, that's the best metaphor I can come up with right now, or simile. But yeah, get your encoding techniques right to actually get the information into your head, into, into your head. um, and then since you want it to stick in your head for the exam, that makes sense. If you forget the information before the exam, then my condolences. But seriously, to keep the information in your head for a longer period of time, because encoding will keep it in there for quite a bit. Correct encoding, anyways. But active recall. Now, active recall will involve actively recalling the information. Duh. But how do you actually recall information? So, I mean, you can use flashcards, because flashcards allow you to actually, okay, think I've seen a word. Let me not derive the definition, but let me not memorize, let me recall the definition. So then you say the definition, turn the card around, do I have the correct definition? If you don't, correct it. If you do, then cool, next flashcard. Or you can do past papers, which will, it's also quite helpful because you can actually see the format of your exam paper, um, the layout and how they ask questions in the exam. So that's really helpful for if you don't really know how to answer questions that well, then you just go to the memo and you see how they've answered the question in the memo. You don't copy that exactly, but basically you need to your answer needs to be along the lines of what's in the memo, and not along the lines as in you have to look very broadly to see the connection between your answer and the answer in the memo, but it needs to have at least the keywords. They don't list the keywords, unfortunately, or maybe in yours they do, but there are going to be certain words that you're going to have the same. Obviously, it needs to be like definitions maybe that you use that are the same. Obviously, you're going to have the and other, yeah, articles, other maybe verbs in there which aren't important to the sentence. Um, but yeah, make sure that those that your answer does align with the memo in some way. Otherwise, you can actively recall is using a blurt page. I'm only going to mention those three for now because those are the ones that I use. Maybe if I do a video where after I have used other methods, then I'll do a video on that. I'm thinking of doing a vlogging video. Anyways, let me get back to blurting before I go and talk about that. So blurting is basically you take a blank page and then you write down all the information you remember from the chapter. You go back to the chapter, you fill in your gaps of knowledge on that blank page. So you look at the chapter, what don't I have on my blurt page? So yeah, that's basically blurting for you. I'm thinking of doing a vlogging video, so if you want to see a vlog on this channel, um, comment down below. If you did enjoy the video, leave a like and subscribe. I hope this video does help you in studying. Yeah, and I will see you in the next video.